Good morning. My name is John and I'm with Destination. So today we will be going through some of the what, how, and why of software test automation. So when we talk about software test or automation, exactly what is it? So if we need to talk about what test automation is, we'll need to really look into a bit about what test software testing is about, right? So software testing is really about testing the functionality of a software application. And in the real world, how people do it is, they kind of list down the functionalities of any application and then manually run through it, right? So if somebody comes in and asks for an application where, he wants to sell, let's say, cakes, right? So one of the functionality for that application would be, the application has a screen which lists out all the different varieties of cakes that this guy has to sell, right, with the picture. So that's one of the functionality of the application, and the guy testing it would essentially, write something called a test case to uh, go to that page and actually validate, whether those items are actually appearing on the page, right? So and then he does it manually. So software test automation is all about, getting this whole process to run on its own, right? So it's about, instead of somebody having to go in uh, and then check manually whether the application contains a set of, images or items, uh, we get an external application to run and test as to whether, the application functionality is there or not, right? So that so in simple terms, that's what test automation is about, to get your manual test to run automatically, right? So so how, essentially, how do people get that to happen? So if you look at the market, there are a lot of tools, some of these listed here, UFT, Selenium, Test Complete, JMeter, Perfecto Mobile. So these tools enable the tester, the person who's manually, you would have had to manually test the application, to write some code and then, get it to run automatically and test the application. So here are some of the examples of the tools available. Going on to, so exactly why would we need test automation in the first place, right? I mean, somebody can do it manually, test the application. Why the hell would, you want to do it automatically? Obviously, there would be time and money involved, right? So some of the reasons for people, when companies decide to go for test automation, one of them is the speed to market consideration. Uh, when we talk about big companies having a lot of bills coming in, software bills, they'll have deadlines for their products, right? So the business would say that, okay, I want this product going out into the market uh, in a month, right? So then the IT team would have to build that into the systems. And so once the IT team build that into the system, that would also have to be tested, right? So the quicker you test it, the quicker your product is certified and ready to go out into the market, which means that, the company's product is out into the market quicker. So in cases like this, uh, people don't really look at the cost of automation, where so because the speed to market is what is important, and if they have their product out a month earlier, they might be, earning millions if not billions. So under these conditions, automation is a good candidate. So that may be one of the considerations. So another case would be to save money, right? So exactly how do you save money? Because, when you put in an effort to automate, it takes time and effort, and obviously the money to buy the tools, right? So save to money is really, something where you have multiple builds going in for any software application, right? uh, in a year there might be 10, 15 builds going in, and and every time a build goes in, that build would have to get tested. And testing manually, there is an effort. Suppose, let's say that testing manually would take around 2 days, but then if you've had it automated, probably running that test would probably take maybe you know half a day, and probably no intervention from maybe required from a manual tester, right? So you might have needed 10 people to run test for 10 cycles of releases. In that place, you'd probably need just two people to run in 10 cycles. So that is 10 into 10, 100, 20 into 10, 20. So you kind of save almost 80 man days there. So just to give an example, right? Another good instance where automated tests are preferred is where people want better quality, right? So when you have something running automatically, obviously, and testing it, right, there is no external factors affecting, there is no case for human error, right? Especially when you're doing validations of text, um, uh, and stuff like that, right? There is a code running and it matches against a set value, and it eliminates the scope for human error. So that is another case where test automation is required. Um, then one of the final things would be, where people prefer increase in coverage of testing. That is in cases where, there is a shortage of testers available, right? In the organization, they might have just 5 testers. And with every release, the testers may want to, spend time testing the new functionalities that come in with the application, uh, which means that, he would have no time to test the regression test cases. So in cases like this, it is always preferable to get those automated and increase the coverage of that, so that with new release, you can do more and more testing. So if you have just 5 people, the 5 people can concentrate on testing their functional stuff, and then the test runs and makes up for whatever loss you have there. So that was just a brief summary about test automation, what, how, and why it's required. Thank you for listening.